This evening, the skies over Israel lit up again. Sirens screamed across cities. Families rushed into shelters. And high above, streaks of fire tore across the darkness. Missiles were incoming. Not random targets. Not ordinary strikes. These missiles were aimed toward one of the most sensitive areas in Israel, a location tied to its nuclear strength. And tonight, the balance of power in the Middle East may have shifted once again. The night the sky turned red. It began suddenly, without warning. Air defense systems detected multiple launches rising from deep inside Iran. Within minutes, alerts spread across Israeli cities. Sirens echoed through neighborhoods. Highways slowed to a stop as drivers abandoned vehicles and ran for shelter. In the distance, flashes of light appeared across the sky. Interceptors launched upward. Bright explosions followed as missiles collided in midair. But not every threat was stopped. Fragments fell. Debris scattered. And the fear of what might happen next spread faster than the explosions themselves. Why this target matters? This was not just another missile strike. The direction of the attack raised alarms among military observers. Because the area under threat is closely linked to Israel's nuclear capability. For decades, this location has symbolized strength, security, and deterrence. It represents Israel's ability to defend itself against the most dangerous threats. That is why any missile flying toward that region carries enormous meaning, even if the facility itself remains protected. The message behind the attack cannot be ignored. This was not random. This was calculated.
The scale of the missile attack.
The number of missiles launched was significant. Wave after wave moved toward Israeli territory. Some carried advanced warheads designed to overwhelm defense systems. Others were built to scatter smaller explosives across wide areas. These types of weapons increase chaos. They multiply the number of impacts, and they make it harder for defenders to stop every incoming threat. Air defense systems worked non-stop. Radar tracked movement across the sky. Interceptors launched repeatedly. But even the most advanced defense networks face challenges when facing large-scale attacks. And tonight, those limits were tested. Israel's defense under pressure. Israel's air defense system is known around the world for its speed and precision. It reacts within seconds, detecting, tracking, intercepting. But tonight's barrage forced those systems into maximum operation. Interceptors filled the sky. Explosions echoed across multiple regions. Residents watched from shelters as flashes of light illuminated the darkness. Some missiles were destroyed before impact. Others broke apart mid-air. Still, debris fell in several areas. And the reality became clear. Even the strongest shield cannot guarantee perfect protection.
The message behind the attack. This strike was about more than damage. It was about signaling power, warning, demonstration of capability. By directing missiles toward areas connected to nuclear strength, Iran may have been sending a message that strategic assets are not beyond reach, a message that escalation remains possible, and perhaps a message that the next phase of conflict could be far more dangerous. Because when nuclear-linked locations become part of the battlefield, the risks multiply instantly. Global tensions rising. The impact of this attack reaches far beyond Israel. Across the region, military forces remain on alert. Shipping routes remain tense. Airspace activity has increased dramatically. And global markets are watching every development. Because the possibility of further escalation creates uncertainty. Not just in the Middle East, but across the entire world. One strike can trigger retaliation. Retaliation can trigger escalation. And escalation can trigger something far worse. What happens next? Tonight's missile attack may not have destroyed nuclear infrastructure, but it did something equally powerful. It sent a message of capability, a message of reach, and a message of warning. Now the world waits, watching, listening, preparing, because the next move could decide whether this conflict slows down or explodes into something far greater. Stay with us as this story continues to unfold. Subscribe for more real-time analysis and updates, because in moments like this, every hour matters, and the next development could change everything.